afternoon, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. We are here to bring you live coverage of the press conference on the Brown University shooting manhunt, which is going to start in 20 minutes, and I will put a clock on the screen if you give me a second here. I just need to put this on the screen. I think I have it here. There you go. Hang on a moment here. And there's some new updates from the Providence Police, which we want to show you and talk about. Let me put the clock on the screen. Hold on, need the clock. Okay. And this, they announced this. There wasn't that much of a heads up. Although they did say yesterday they were going to brief tomorrow. But I want to show you, the Providence Police have released some pictures of a different person. A different person. Not the person of interest. A person who was in the proximity of the person of interest they're looking for now. So I want to show you that real quick. Hey, thanks to our moderators, Ruth, Beth, Mythical, Janet B., over there on YouTube. Thanks to all of our moderators. And thanks to CJ Lars for your support. I really appreciate it, CJ Lars. Thank you. Also, thanks to our Twitch moderators. We have moderating right now Idaho Star and Matthew Kohai 3. Thank you. Thanks Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha for moderating on X. And thank you to our Facebook moderators. Hold on one second here. We have moderating. Whoops. Kay Lowry, body moderating. Thanks, Kay. I appreciate it. And all of our other moderators, thank you. We will have live coverage of President Trump's address to the nation tonight. He is speaking at 9. We're going to come on early. I'm going to try to get on around 7:30 or so before Trump's address to the nation, okay? So we'll definitely have live coverage of Trump's address to the nation tonight. I hope you can join us for that. We will be covering that. We'll be coming on early. All right, now. All right, so let me show you. Thanks to Martin Gingrich. Thanks, Martin, for your support. Let me show you what the Providence Police released today. Look at this. Look at this, guys. 8 minutes ago, investigators are asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in the photo who was in proximity of the person of interest. One of our viewers just said, poor random person. Something I was thinking is, I hope that nobody, Matthew Kohai 3 said that, yeah. Something I was thinking is I hope people don't get confused because someone might look at this and not really read it clearly and say, oh, that's the person of interest. And then they go out and they see the person. And I hope, you know what I'm saying? I don't want the person to be at risk. So right now the police is just saying this is somebody who was in proximity to the person of interest. But I hope they really emphasize that, no, this is not the person of interest. Because somebody might just see Providence Police and they see enhanced photo and they look down here and they say, oh, that's the person of interest. So I hope they really emphasize that. I'm concerned. But here is a picture of the person. Hold on a second here. Oops. Well, let me try to make this bigger. Why is it that when I do that, it's like that? Well, hang on. Oh, I know what I'll do to make it bigger. Here, we'll do it this way. We'll do it this way. So this is not the person of interest. This is a person who was in proximity to the person of interest who they want to speak to. Okay? It's interesting. Now, I don't know if they think that this person knows the person of interest. I have no idea. But it's interesting. Yeah, this is somebody who was in proximity to the person of interest. Thank you, Mr. Shovel from Denmark. Thank you, Mr. Shovel. So I feel like I have to keep saying this again and again and again because people will think this is the person of interest. So anyways, I don't know, it could be a woman. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I mean, I just think the person's wearing a hood and a hat and it's small. And so I don't know, they don't say, they say the person. So we'll have to see. I assume they'll talk about this. And they had posted something about this earlier. Hold on a second here. Here, look. Here's more pictures of the person who is not the person of interest. Investigators are asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in these photos who was in proximity of the person of interest. Now these pictures are this, I guess, the same person, but wearing different clothing. So do they think that this person knows the person of interest? Or maybe talked to the person of interest repeatedly or something? I don't know. I don't know. But you can see this looks to be like a different jacket than in the other one, than the other post, right? Hold on. The other post is this. That doesn't look to be a blue puffy jacket. Maybe I'm wrong. Although I don't know. I mean, it's like the person's wearing a similar hood, but maybe it's a different jacket. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the coloring is different in the picture. I don't know. Anyways. All right, give me a moment here. So I don't know what this is all about. I'm not sure what this is all about, the wanting to speak with the person, releasing photos of the person they want to speak with who is not the person of interest, but was in proximity of the person of interest. So Bunny says, we don't either. So I'm guessing they're going to talk about that. Now, something else they posted is the police. They said Providence Police are releasing a map showing the streets where the person of interest in the Brown University shooting is confirmed to have been present on the day of the incident. Streets marked in green indicate locations where footage confirms the person of interest was present in the hours before the shooting. Streets marked in red indicate locations where footage confirms the person of interest was present immediately after the shooting. The blue zone identifies the area where investigators are seeking property or vehicle camera footage from any time on the day of the shooting. Anyone who needs assistance reviewing security or vehicle camera recordings is urged to contact Providence Police tip line. Okay, so give me a moment here. Just give me a moment here. Give me one moment here. All right. We got to figure out, give me a second. I got to figure out the feed for the press conference situation. We're figuring out the feed for the press conference situation. We're going to have the press conference live for you coming up in about 11 minutes. Live press conference. All right, what I'm going to do. We'll take some comments from you guys, and then, again, press conference coming up in 10 minutes. Still no person of interest in custody? Yeah, person of interest is not in custody. This is the person who was in the proximity of the person of interest that they want to talk to. I still think this is confusing. I wish they had maybe in big capital letters said, this is not the person of interest. You know, because I think there's going to be confusion over this. Bunny says, hopefully they will explain it all in the press conference about the proximity person. All right, I think I need to do this. I think I need to do, let's see here. I'm going to hold off on a second here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. We will have the press conference for you. We will have it for you. I'm just getting things set up here. One moment. Again, a reminder tonight, we will... Oh, here's big pictures. I have some big pictures for you of the person... I have big pictures of the person who was in proximity to the person of interest. There. Investigators are asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in these photos who was in the proximity of the person of interest. Hey, thanks Tyler Becker. Thanks to Jolly Lollipop 1. Thank you. Julio Limos and Rizzo are members. Thank you. Sherry thinks this is a violation of privacy. Again, they want to talk to this person who was in proximity to the person of interest. Oh, and here's another one. Look, this is again, they want to speak to this person who was in proximity to the person of interest. This is not the person of interest. This is the person they want to speak to who was in proximity of the person of interest. I know I have to keep saying that, but it's confusing. Okay, I need to get this going here. Give me a quick moment here, guys. Hang on. Hang on. We're going to do this. I'm going to get the feed up for you right now. Just hang on a moment. I'm getting the feed up for you guys right now. I am getting you the feed right now. I am getting the feed up for you right now. Just hang on a moment. Hang on a moment. Thanks for your patience. Give me one moment here. Almost there, almost done. I have it. I'm going to put it on the screen right now for you. I am putting the feed on the screen right now for you. Just hang on a moment. Here it is. Here it is. I can see it. All right. There. And then I do this. I think they don't have the audio on yet. Right. I think the audio is just not on yet. All right, I want to read some more comments from you guys. One of our viewers, Mike Phased Much, says, I bet they got nothing. So the shooting was on Saturday, and today is Wednesday. Now, TVFG said this person was seen running after the person of interest. I haven't seen any footage where somebody was running after the person of interest. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I haven't seen that myself. People are coming in. No, maybe. Again, now they haven't. The audio has not been turned on because I have the audio. The audio is on my end. The audio is on my end. Nothing is muted here. So I think that the camera itself, just they don't have their audio on until... Let me do one other thing here, just to prepare. I have a backup plan, if need be. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Okay. I have a backup plan if need be, but... I think with this feed, the audio is just, they have it muted. Two minutes till it's supposed to start. ZK4I says, I'm confused. I'll wait for the conference. Now, are we going to hear a sound check or not? Looks like they're still setting up. Thanks, Sparky Pilot, for support. Sparky Pilot feels like the handling of the case has been very irresponsible. Uh-oh, the screen is coming down. I am not a law enforcement person, though, Sparky says, just commenting from my armchair. Thank you, Sparky Pilot. Remember, on Sunday, they took someone into custody as a person of interest, and then they ultimately let them go. Hold on a second here. Thanks to Fred Witherow. Hey, Fred, thanks for your support, Fred Witherow. So we do have the screen. Up says, ooh, the screen. Mr. Clam says 35 millimeter slideshow. I missed this report about, hold on. This is different. I want to keep an eye on this. Something else I'm keeping an eye on too. Hang on a moment. Hang on a moment. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything else from the last couple minutes. So to repeat, what's this? To repeat, the Providence Police today have released photos of a person they say they want to talk to, but that is not the person of interest. It's a person who was in proximity to the person of interest. See this right there? See? They released multiple photos of this person. They say they're asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in this photo who was in proximity to the person of interest. So I'm assuming they're going to talk about this. Thank you so much, Jenny Lassiter, for being a member for 49 months. Jenny says, hard to believe suspect is still on the loose. Thank you, John N.R., for your support. And also Senator Funstein. You never know with these things, Senator Funstein. These cases, with these manhunts, things can turn around just like that. You can all of a sudden hear out of the blue that they have someone. So I hope that'll be soon, but we'll have to see. We're waiting for this to start. And a reminder, we will have tonight, I will be covering live. We'll be covering live here President Trump's address to the nation at 9 Eastern time. I'm going to come on early for it so we can do a pre-coverage and talk about it and take your comments. Hoping to get on by about 7:30, a little early, so we can talk about it and other things that are going on. So definitely, I hope you can join me tonight for the live coverage of President Trump's address to the nation. Thanks, the one and only our member. Oh, hold on a moment. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. The clock is going up. That means we're any time now, any moment now, it's going to start. It's supposed to start at 4. So any moment now. Thanks for joining us. DJ Seuss said, how did the school not have any cameras like none? Well, the school does have cameras, but I guess they don't have many in that building where the shooting happened. The school, I think, released a statement about some of this today. Maybe after we cover the press conference, I can share that with you. But hold on a moment here. People are coming in. Now, can they turn the audio on? Where's the audio? Hang on. They don't have the audio on yet. The audio's not on yet. I may have to get you the backup. Hope they turn the audio on. I have a backup. I do have a backup. I don't know why this doesn't have audio on it. I might have to show you the backup. I'm switching to the backup right now for the audio. We'll have to do it on the fly. Here, I'll figure it out. Just give me a second. I'll turn it up. Hopefully the other
everybody.
audio kicks in.
Welcome back to our daily briefing. I want to start by just acknowledging how the residents of Providence and the students and campus community at Brown are still feeling restless and eager for an arrest. And we understand and share that feeling. We are also eager for an arrest. The investigation is well underway, and we'll hear an update in just a second from Colonel Perez and Attorney General Nerona. But I want to reemphasize that in the Providence community and with the governor's help, really in the broader Providence community. We have tightened security, and we have neighbors looking out for one another, and we will get through this. I know our city, and we are a resilient community, and we are a city that will support one another as we move forward in this scary time. Just because you're feeling unsafe doesn't mean that that's invalid. We know that that's real, but we are doing everything we can to both advance this investigation, but also to provide the support necessary as we move forward and take the first steps together that we need to, as a city, to start to recognize that kids need to go to school and people need to go to work, and we appreciate the courage and sometimes even tentative steps forward that we're taking as we start to move forward as a community. At this time, I'd like to introduce Colonel Oscar Perez, who will give an update on the investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. We can please show the photo that we released earlier today.
I'm sorry, I'm going to show you the photo myself. There's an issue with the audio on the other feed, so I'll show the photo myself. Hold on, I'm going to show that myself.
So we have released this enhanced photo earlier today, and I want to be clear that this is a person that we would like to speak with. We truly believe, based on the video footage that we have been watching for a few days, they may have relevant information to the investigation. So we're asking the public that you can help us identify who this individual is, as well as the individual themselves sees their picture, to please contact the police department. As far as one thing that I want to mention, I want to urge you, the public, not to rely on or circulate AI generated images that are currently being shared on social media, as they're not verified or credible. As well, the updates and information that you're getting will be provided exclusively through this department's official channels. I want to make sure that we make that happen, and please notify the public to make sure that that occurs. I would also like to clarify and show a map. Please, if you can play the map. So the map here that you see is actually a map of the area that we have been intensively walking on those streets, canvassing the area. So as you see the blue image, yesterday I mentioned that we need the public's assistance to check their camera assistance or any sort of video that you may have that could be helpful to us, that you, as you're watching it or as you're reviewing it, you feel there may be something that we can use. Please notify us. And if you need any help with that, viewing those videos, please also call us. We can come over and help you. The green area, that's color, that's when we have confirmed where the subject was prior to the shooting. The red areas, we have also confirmed that that's the immediate area where he left after the shooting. And so this is the map that actually we have so far. We walked it all. We're still actively investigating, and we're still actively having agents, Providence police officers, members of the state police. There's about 9 federal agencies that are assisting us with this investigation, adding the state police as well as the Providence Police and other municipalities. Again, I would like to reiterate, if you have any tips, please call the 272-3121 or the FBI link at fbi.gov/Brown University shooting. Thank you.
Attorney General Peter Nerona for an update. Okay. Thank you, General. One additional update from me, and then we'll be happy to take your questions. First, I want to just take a moment to recognize and honor the memory of Ella Cook and Muhammad Aziz Umarzakov, who are the 2 deceased victims from this tragedy, and update you on the status of the survivors. Yesterday, we mentioned that one individual had been discharged. I'm happy to report that another individual has been discharged today. That leaves 1 survivor in critical but stable condition and 5 in stable conditions. The parents that I spoke with today all reported that their kids were improving. So this is a happy announcement, but I know the entire Providence community, the entire state of Rhode Island, the governor and I were together at a memorial service last night, mourn the loss and offer our most sincere condolences to the Cook and Emerzacok families. So this is a happy announcement. Following up on a note that the Colonel made with respect to AI-generated images and other misinformation, we have created an online folder with all of the video and images that have been released. And we encourage both members of the press, but also members of the community. We know lots of people are sharing information, and we appreciate that. We think that will help with this investigation. But we encourage them to download and share the videos and photos from the website that has been created so that you can ensure that you're sharing an accurate and verified photo and video. That website is now live. It is providenceri.gov/tips. TIPS. providenceri.gov/tips is an online file folder that has the videos and photos that have been released to date, and it will be updated as we progress. There's been lots of conversation up here about the heroic work of the hundreds of law enforcement professionals who remain hard at work 24 hours a day and who are, in fact, making progress. I want to close with one additional thank you tonight. All of those tip line calls are coming into the city's telecommunications department, the same folks who answer the 911 calls, and they too have been working tirelessly. And I want to thank the men and women at dispatch and at telecommunications for their diligence. Everyone in the city of Providence truly has a role to play in this investigation, and we're grateful for their assistance. We'll take your questions. John.
Colonel, I have a question for Colonel. As he's walking around, I want to establish actually, what's the earliest that this person of interest emerges? I believe you had said Saturday morning at 10:30, but then someone else said maybe a couple days earlier. And I recognize that it fluctuates and this is evolving. But as of right now, what's the earliest that this individual, to your knowledge, shows up on camera?
About 10:30 a.m. on the date of this tragic incident. However, so like anything else, I also mentioned yesterday that they do case the areas. They do a lot of prior check-in for their crime, and so we truly believe that it could be that possibly who's there prior as well. And so we want to make sure that we don't miss anything. And so that's why we're asking the public to help us to ensure within that map area that I mentioned with the borders between Wickeden, Brook, all those areas, Gano, that if you have a camera system to reach out to us.
I was in along Ives Street, Gano today. Tremendous number of federal officials literally going door to door. Would you see this? How would you describe? I mean, it just seems that this is probably right now the most massive, intensive manhunt going on in the world.
I think I agree with you on that, John, and definitely commend the men and women, obviously, and all our federal partners. It's a lot of work, and it's intense, as you stated. It takes a lot to be able to knock on doors, see videos. There's terabytes of videos that you have to look, and I mentioned it yesterday. We're looking for a moment that takes almost less than a second, and if you miss it, you're missing something that could be critical and important for us to use. And so, yes, it's definitely an intense, and I believe that is probably the most intense investigation going on right now in this nation.
Carl, the second person that you want to talk to, can you drill down at all on any interactions that you believe you may have had with the main person of interest? Do you believe he talked to him? How close was he to him? Any interactions? What can you tell?
So yeah, we have video footage of that determines to us and the detectives that can tell that this person was in the vicinity where the subject of interest was that we wanted that we actually have an interest on. Close enough that we feel that we need to speak with them to find out because videos don't speak. If you think about it, I wish the video could speak, and then I'll have the answers that we need to, so that we can continue on this investigation. So we're trying to find out exactly what it is, and that's why we need to speak with them. Please.
Does this person, this new individual, have anything to do with why the person of interest was seen running in the surveillance footage?
Again, I wish the videos could speak. We're trying to get those answers.
And have you found any items of interest during your search, specifically clothing?
Nothing as we speak, no.
Up front here.
Who among law enforcement or other first responders was first on the scene that day, and who came next?
So Brown University was on scene, and then immediately the Providence Police Department within minutes was there.
Back there. Green jacket.
Previously
Yeah.
released a video from 216 on the day of the shooting, where we see the person of interest come into contact with you or another person. Is that the moment that you think this new person and the person of interest might have come close?
That's correct. It's around the area of Benevolent and Cook.
So behind the Rhode Island Historical Society, that corner of Georgia.
Right near that area, correct.
And you had some searches going on in North Attleboro today. Is that connected at all to this case?
I can confirm we're all over the place. If a tip comes in and he needs us to go down to Connecticut, we're going down to Connecticut. If a tip comes in and tells us that we got to go to Boston, we're going to Boston.
Right there in the middle. The green jacket. Go ahead.
Is it possible that the second person could become a person of interest?
All we know is that that person was in the vicinity of the subject that we have an interest on, and we want to speak with them.
Mason, Greg.
Español, si nos puede contar esta persona, una persona que busca identificar esa interacción, en qué área sucedió y qué quiere de la comunidad.
Yes, so pretty much the question is just, we can explain in Spanish exactly why we're looking for this individual, why do we want to speak with them. So, esta persona verdaderamente es alguien que nosotros tenemos un interés de hablar con ellos porque estaba en la área inmediata donde este individuo estaba. Entonces queremos saber más de por qué estaba ahí para explicar la razón y qué interacción hubo.
¿Tienen algún indicativo de que la persona que cometió el tiroteo actuó sola o actuó con alguien más?
Eso es lo que estamos investigando.
My question is, have you found any DNA evidence from the crime scene or the area that you believe might belong to the shooter?
So we have found a lot of evidence that we need to, and we use and utilize it to hopefully guide us in the right direction in order to identify the individual that we're looking for.
And you've got the DNA evidence?
There's actual physical evidence, there's DNA evidence, there's a lot of evidence that we're collecting to ensure that we can find the answer.
Pat.
A question for Attorney General Noronha. My understanding from your conversations over the last few days is that the Attorney General's office is taking the lead in terms of doing the investigation. My question is, what's the relationship between the Attorney General's office and the Rhode Island State Police? We haven't heard much from over the last few days in terms of who's doing what and what type of time commitment. I do have a follow-up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we're leading it. I think that we are working closely with our law enforcement investigators. So you divide, I think you can divide, in a case like this, the people involved into two groups. So there are at least five prosecutors that have been here since Saturday night. I've been here for a fair chunk of it myself, particularly after hours back at the office. But what those prosecutors are doing, Pat, is asking questions, helping to narrow and inform factual inquiries. Certainly when there's a question, all right, do we have enough to get a search warrant for a house or a car or a buccal swab from a person of interest? They're informing that. So in any complex investigation, both federally and stateside, prosecutors are embedded with the investigative team, and we bring our own heads to the investigation because we have been involved in writing search warrant affidavits and arrest warrant affidavits and wiretaps for years.
And the Rhode Island State Police, what kind of role have they played in terms of investigating? I still have
Well, yeah, the Colonel can answer that. But before you do, Colonel, I just want to make sure that I answer it as well. One of the images that I have most keenly in my mind from a couple nights ago is a state police lieutenant or Derek Melfi talking to John Permiano of the Providence Police, talking to Colin Woods of the FBI and identifying a certain piece of video evidence that's important to this investigation. And that's how intertwined and cohesive it is while prosecutors look on and engage at the same time.
So I addressed this question a couple of days ago. So this is a very collaborative effort between all of law enforcement, between the Providence Police, the state police, all of our federal partners. We will continue to develop leads and follow that with the evidence that comes along with that until this perpetrator is apprehended.
I have one quick follow-up. The gentleman from Brown University.
Yep.
Can you say for the record and with complete certainty that every bit of digital mass surveillance, whatever type of evidence was collected by the infrastructure of Brown University has been turned over to the Providence Police Department as well as the Attorney General's Office? Is the Brown University withholding anything for the record?
For the record, we are cooperating 100% with law enforcement. We are turning over everything we have to assist in this investigation.
You have a map and you are fully aware of whatever surveillance is being taken.
All materials are being provided to law enforcement.
Tom.
Thank you very much. Regarding the new person of interest video, who may have had contact with the primary person? Does law enforcement not have the capability to identify and find someone when you have like full face recognition without exposing them to public scrutiny?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something where you have to investigate. If you don't know who the person is, it's very difficult, and especially if the image is blurred, it's very difficult to identify him. And so, if we had that availability to be able to identify him without the assistance of the public, we would. So at this point, we do not, and that's why we're putting it out to the public to assist us in identifying who this person is.
And then, with this person of interest that you're looking at today, or this subject that you released today, are we sure it's a man? I know it was brought up in the question before. It could be a man. Are we 100% sure it's a man, or could it be a woman as well?
It's a person that we would like to at least speak with.
But there's no giving a gender at this time?
No, there isn't.
Colonel, there's a black
Patrick.
satchel that the main person of interest was carrying. In some images he has seen with it, some images he has seen without.
Sorry, man.
Have you recovered that black satchel? Do you know if can you tell us whether he was wearing that strapped over his shoulder?
Yes.
Was he wearing it before the shooting, after the shooting?
He's wearing it at times, definitely on and off, and I think I addressed that yesterday. Obviously, that we see him in the video with it, and then at times we don't see him, just like you stated. So we're assuming that he actually hid it under the coat that he was wearing, but we don't have it, no.
Patrick.
Colonel Perez.
Yes.
In the map that you showed, it looks like the perimeter has moved south into the Fox Point area from the immediate places where we've seen video footage. Can you tell me why the level of interest has moved south of the shooting site and into the Fox Point area? Is there any video footage? Is there additional evidence that points towards that area?
I mean, the investigation is intensive, so we're following his path. And he's getting us, the last place we saw him was right at Ives near Pittman. And so that's sort of south, and we're going to continue to check, but that's the last place that we saw him. That's why we moved south, and we may continue to move. It all depends. We want to see as far as we can, how far we can go to identify him.
Are there any other sightings or anything else down by that you've extended all the way to like Wickedon, where we don't have any?
Correct. We're at Ives and Pittman right now, but potentially could lead us further down to Butler. It could lead us further down south. So we just want to make sure we cover enough.
Steve.
Colonel, can you now explain to us 5 days later how many students were in that classroom? Sadly, 2 lost their lives, 9 others injured. Encouraged about the update today. But can you now say how many kids were in that classroom? And did the gunman come in from the back so these people never knew it was coming? Or did he come in front with full view of everybody?
And that's all part of the interviews, and actually we're cooperating with Brown to get the roster. That was a study hall, so we don't have the number. We're still getting information as far as who was there. I know Brown sent out an email to the students to notify us if they were present, and we're still getting that, so I can't give you an exact account now.
Okay, and then just a follow-up. You did say that you lost sight of the gunman at some specific road
Correct.
outside of your perimeter. What
No, it's within the perimeter, Steve. Yeah.
Right, and then what happened with him after that? There's no video where he could have gone.
We're still out there as we speak. There's people out there, there's detectives out there, there's task force officers. We're trying to figure out what other locations we can find, but we haven't found anything else. So, but we're knocking on doors and making sure, and that's why I'm putting out the call to the public to assist us. If you happen to be within that box that borders exactly where we want you to look, then that's exactly why we're here.
Second round.
Yeah. Inside the classroom, you've done your interviews, you continue to do your interviews. The description that eyewitnesses are giving, does it match the primary person of interest? And what can you say more about the weapon? You know that the TA said that he saw a gun that was so big and so long. Is it possible at this point that the gunman had multiple weapons? Can you square that with us?
Yeah, there's definitely, the interviews are definitely telling us that that's the description that we have. And yes, they're describing the weapon. Some people obviously can think it was chaos. And so, but we're definitely getting some info as far as what the weapon looked like and exactly what was going on in that room. So
You don't think there's multiple weapons?
no, just that individual.
I just want to jump in here too, because you know, you mentioned a long gun. We are not in a position to say, unless the chief, you want to swear it, whether this was a long gun or not. I think that there's been an account from the TA. There are multiple accounts about multiple things, including how this gunman approached the victims. Those are not details that advance the investigation. Why not? They don't advance the investigation because as we interview witnesses, we don't want them to learn facts from these press conferences. We want them to relay the facts that they have in their heads, including a person of interest. So we don't want a person of interest to shape what they're telling us based on what we know as expressed to you about those kinds of details, sir, that you asked. So we're being careful about the facts that we're sharing for that reason, so that when we talk to witnesses, what we're getting is their factual recitation. As you might imagine, in a situation where there is chaos, and look, people are ducking for cover as well, they should have, you are going to get different accounts, and part of what's going on now is reconciling those accounts. And I don't know, Chief, if you want to weigh in more about the weapon, but I don't want anyone to leave this room thinking that this weapon was a long gun, because that would be a misperception from what I know.
Alex.
In the video released yesterday, it appears that the person of interest is going by a police cruiser that has its lights on. Does that mean that the dash cam in that cruiser was on and activated, and have police been able to recover anything useful from that video?
So that was a brown police cruiser, and I'm not sure if they have body cameras in their cruisers. I don't think they do.
Dash cam.
That's. No.
Okay.
I don't want to
And
answer
then
for
my
the chief.
next follow-up question would be, are you working with flock camera experts to try and recover anything from those cameras?
So as you know, we work with Flock, we have LPRs in the city, and we're utilizing every resource we can. Yes, Alex.
Brian.
Colonel, you mentioned there is other evidence, but at this point, how much of this investigation turns on the public identifying who's in those images? And are you discouraged or surprised that after a couple of days of it being out there, you haven't gotten anything more concrete?
No, I think this is, like we said it earlier, it's a very intense investigation, and I think it's going to take public assistance. It's actually going to take, obviously, 21st century policing involving technology, but it's also going to take good old-fashioned police work, which is knocking on doors, retrieving evidence, going through yards, talking to witnesses. It's going to take all that and more, Brian.
And no one's discouraged. I mean, I've been in that command post. No one's discouraged. I mean, leads are coming in, they're being run the ground, and no one's discourred. Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, I've been in the command post, as the colonel has, and no one's discouraged. I mean, I get when I'm not there, I get hourly reports from my own team, and there's an enormous amount of energy for people who have been working as hard as they have been. I'm really quite impressed by that, frankly, and there's no discouragement among people who understand that not every case is a case that can be solved quickly. In my view, they get solved. It's just a matter of time, and this case will get solved too.
Would you have a message you're going to feel to the shooter or anybody who may think they know who they are, who may be on the fence?
Well, look, certainly it would behoove everyone, including the shooter, to provide information to law enforcement and to the shooter to turn himself in. He will be caught, and it's just a matter of time before we catch him. And I believe that based on my experience, but also from watching the people in that command post and getting reports from where they're coming back out in the field. They know what they're doing, they're experienced, they're working hard. There's no lack of resources. Everyone's working really well together. And we're going to crack this case. And when we crack it, it's going to come open really quickly.
Straight back, that's.
For you, Mayor, have you spoken to local business owners about how much this is impacting their bottom line, especially during the holiday season, and any concerns that they might have about this?
Yeah, I have. It's hard work being a small business owner, and this time of year is critical to them. There's a commercial district just off campus called Thayer Street. Those businesses are particularly struggling as both students went home early and some people are avoiding the area. Similarly, there's a couple other commercial districts nearby the area, which is Wickenden Street, as has been discussed here tonight, and Wayland Square. The city's Department of Economic Development, in partnership with the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce, is reaching out to those business owners to look at assistance programs or otherwise try to support them to ensure that their businesses can stay healthy and vibrant through this. Those conversations started yesterday, and so we're working with the various merchants associations to try to determine what sort of assistance might be most helpful, and when it's ready to announce, we will. Thanks. Please.
My question is for the Colonel. So looking at this new map, there's more video so far of him before than there is after the shooting. Do you think the person of interest got to the vehicle somewhere within this area, and are you going to go to license plate readers?
Absolutely, yeah. We're looking for that evidence, if there was any vehicles involved. And yes, you're right, he was there earlier, and so that's why we're looking at that as well. And definitely we're using, I mentioned that earlier, the LPRs, the flock, any cameras. That's why we're making a call out to the public to assist us with that. And so part of those resources that we're going to need, as the general stated, to make that apprehension.
Dan.
I have a question to follow up first to the Attorney General. Attorney General Dan Janik, NBC 10.
Hi, Dan.
You had said the other day that you released the person of interest because the DNA didn't match, which would assume that there was DNA of the person of interest in that room. Can you tell us what it was, and if he hasn't committed a crime before, how it makes it a little bit more difficult?
Yeah, so DNA, when it's entered into a nationwide system, can confirm the identity of a suspect or subject. And certainly the advantage here is that when we find a person of interest, and we can get a search warrant for what we call a buccal swab, we can compare that to a known quantum of evidence. That can rule people in, and it obviously can rule people out. That's a powerful piece of evidence, but it's not the only evidence. And relatedly to the question about, do we need only the public? The public is going to really help us here by identifying this person. But at the same time, there are other leads coming in through other forms of electronic and other evidence that are taking multiple teams out in different directions. And we're able, through a variety of means, not just DNA evidence, to rule people in or rule people out. And it's a combination of really impressive work by, vector experts in various forms of modern law enforcement techniques.
I have a second question. So I asked this question out of deep respect, but I asked it for a lot of parents who are frustrated who reached out to me, so please keep that in mind. And they want to know how a school with a $9 billion endowment does not have cameras on one of the older buildings at the edge of the campus where this happened, not even in the front door, who's coming and going. Now they asked this question knowing that the shooter may have done whatever he wanted, but the cameras, A, would have deterred, or B, captured a better look at him, and we wouldn't be here today 5 days out. I want you to explain that, because there's a lot of parents who are wondering, where are you investing your money?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, and I want to reiterate, as our president did, that supporting our students and communicating to the parents, to our community about our support is of utmost importance. We have 1,200 cameras located throughout the campus. We don't publish the locations of the cameras. That would give a map to somebody to evade detection on the cameras. So that would be counterproductive to do that. There are cameras in this building, and as I answered the previous question, we have turned over all evidence that we are holding at Brown to law enforcement and are cooperating fully with them.
So you're saying that there's cameras in the building. I was told yesterday there wasn't cameras in the building. The Attorney General said, old building, no cameras, attached to a new building with cameras.
I believe he said that there were 2 different phases of the building that might have 2 different levels of technology. Again, all video imagery has been turned over to law enforcement.
That doesn't make sense.
Amanda.
Okay. I have a question for the chief and a question for the FBI.
Chief, how you doing, Amanda?
So, looking at this person of interest, and from witness descriptions, it appears that this person had a genuine familiarity with Brown, possibly with that building as well. Have you, in questioning people, have you questioned and eliminated any Brown employees, current, former, disgruntled, facing discipline, any type of complaints?
Yeah, at this point it's unknown to us. I think that the investigation is on. but it's unknown to us where this person works. It's unknown to us if he was an affiliate of Brown. That's all unknown to us. All we have is the image that we've been releasing and informed you all about it. And so we're hoping to get those answers eventually, who that person is or what their background is.
Okay, any questions, follow up for the FBI, please?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I understand that the FBI has doing tower dumps of cell phone data, and I'm not sure if this is also happening, but if you're also checking the MAC addresses of any phones related to any of the Wi-Fi at residences or at Brown University as well. If so, how long does it take to get that information? Have you really even received any preliminary information that is helping you narrow down any potential persons of interest?
I will say that I don't want to get into the specifics of the techniques that we use investigatively, but I will say that we are using every resource that we have to find this subject and bring him to justice.
But when it comes to cell phone data, how long does it take to get that information? Will we be getting weeks, months?
I will say that it varies as it relates to getting that type of data. I will say that everything that we're doing is getting expedited based on the gravity of what has happened here at Brown University.
Right next to you.
Have you recovered any physical evidence during these recent searches and possibly in Phoenix on magazine?
So we have done extensive searches both inside the location as well as outside. Yes, we have seized and found physical evidence. We have found physical evidence. I'm not going to confirm. I'm sorry? Yeah. Please.
Colonel, the past couple of days we have zeroed in on this particular person of interest. Can you kind of help remind us about why you believe this is someone who possibly could be either the shooter or a suspect? You've been very careful not to say a suspect. It's a person of interest, that this is the only video. Can you help remind us about why you believe this is the person, not looking for other?
Yeah, we have enough evidence, I think, that's taken us to that level to identify this individual as someone who was there immediately after, before, case in the area. There's enough for us to believe that's definitely a subject of interest based on descriptions, based on statements. And so that's the reason we're calling him a subject of interest, just to ensure that we have enough. And once we identify him, to be able to take the next step.
And a quick follow, you were clear not to use gender with the person in proximity to the person of interest. You have been using male pronouns in describing the person as a man. For this particular person of interest, we can say for sure you believe that we are looking for a man, for the person of interest?
Correct. In the back there.
At this point, and this is for the FBI, at this point, this person could be anywhere, right? I-95 runs right through the state. So how are you coordinating with other states to determine whether this person of interest could be elsewhere?
No, that's a great question. Through all of our field offices, we have 56 field offices throughout the United States, as well as legats abroad. And so the information that we have, once it goes into our data systems, we are sharing that information real time with all of our FBI field offices and the partners as well. And so that is a way in which we're making sure that whether that subject has left the state or even left the country, that we are using that full reach of the federal arm to track that individual down.
One moment. They're having an issue with their live signal. Issue with the live signal. Hopefully they can get it back. You can see, waiting for a live signal. It should resume shortly. By the way, to clarify, the person on the left is not the person of interest. The person on the left is a person in proximity to the person of interest. Hey, what happened to their signal? They lost their signal. I don't think refreshing is going to help because it's not on my end. But what I'll do is I'll do this. I'm going to refresh anyway. No, I don't think that's going to help. Oh, maybe it did. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Audio.
Using that.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Would you like all of it? Why not? Well, because here's why. Because it doesn't tell us anything about who committed this crime yet. If we get a better image of who committed this crime, you'll have it. There is no effort to preclude the public, online investigators in the press, from getting to the result faster than we can. If you can identify this person faster than we can, have at it. But we are giving you the best evidence we can to identify this person. The FBI, with respect, cannot find a person we have not identified yet. The way we identify him is to focus on this person, exhaust our investigative resources to pull videotape so that we can get an image out there that the public may be able to identify. At the same time, exploiting other evidence to try to track this person in different ways, which has been going on for the last 72 hours. So, well, what does that look like? What that looks like is information comes in. It could come in from the tip line. The team runs it to ground. They rely on other evidence, the flock cameras that the colonel referenced, other electronic data that Amanda's referring to, and you can rule that person in or out. When that person's is ruled out, you move on to the next one. The way the public helps us now is to help us identify this person, okay? But that's not the exclusive way we're going at it. But it does not advance our investigation to have reams of data out there that don't help identify the shooter. And we're confident of that.
My follow-up question just to that was as well is, we speak a lot about the public helping as well, and the FBI is involved. But 5 days, a person can get very far in 5 days. What other state police departments are helping you with this, and do you have any indication how far this person may have gotten in this time?
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I got it. So pretty much, it's a great point, and that's something that we're considering. Obviously, he could be anywhere. You're right, and I think the fact that we're all here in this room and we're providing the info and it's being spread out through this nation. I would hope. I'm speaking to different chiefs. I've had the privilege to know a lot of them. We're exchanging info as we speak. We don't know, but we still don't know what the person is or who he is, right? And so we're going to continue to view, review, and then send out. And I just want to touch on that question because you do make a good point. If there's 1,200 cameras, right? How come we're not seeing it at all? But at the end of the day, we're looking at key evidence, key video evidence to send out. It makes no sense to re-victimize students who went through that. That's not my job, and that my responsibility is to ensure that people are safe. It's no different than I'm asking the public to provide me with video footage for weeks. I don't want to know what's going on in their homes for weeks. I want to know if they can see a piece of evidence that is going to be helpful for us to progress in this investigation.
What do you know about the level of public access to Garrison Hall? Is this a door that somebody from the shooter would have been able to walk in, or is this a place where you would have needed swipe access to get in?
Certainly. Thanks for that question. Brown is no different than most colleges and universities that during daytime hours, there's open access to academic spaces. So that was the case on the day of the event.
Phil?
Question for Brown. There are some buildings on campus that have private or non-police security guards posted at the front entrance. Was there a security guard ever posted at the engineering building entrance? If so, were they there that day, and what did they do? And if not, why not?
So maybe I'll ask our chief of police to speak to that.
On that day, we did not have and do not have a security asset posted inside the building.
Is that atypical of a Saturday or in that particular building? How do you determine where security is posted? Is that under the purview of ground police?
That is typical for that academic space.
That there would not be a security personnel?
Correct.
There you go.
One for the colonel, one for you, Mr. As far as the investigation goes, any updates on a possible motive here? And for the mayor, while I have you, we're getting towards Christmas time. Obviously, this suspect can get lots of different places, not just on campus there. What is your message to people coming into this area, seeing family who are concerned that this guy is still out?
Yeah, so the motive is unknown at this time.
As we're, what are we, a week away from Christmas now? This only emphasizes the question that I think everyone's been asking, which is, are we safe in Providence right now? Which honestly is the hardest question that I keep getting asked. And whether it's the holidays or not, but with the holidays, we expect even more people to want to come home and celebrate with family and share the traditions that, are seared in all of our brains of holidays with our parents and loved ones. We can't lock down the city indefinitely. We can't. And I know this city. I know that they are tough. I know that they are resilient. I know that they have faced scary times before. And so we are doing everything possible to provide extra law enforcement, extra visibility, things to reassure confidence at a scary time. And it is a scary time here in the city. That's true at Christmas time. That was true when this started on Sunday morning, the first morning after. And so we are doing everything possible, but obviously families are going to have a conversation about what's right and what's best. But they should know that their city government is doing everything they know how. And thanks to the help of our friends, the governor, and the Rhode Island State Police, our neighboring communities here in Rhode Island. For those of you who aren't from Rhode Island, this is a tight-knit place. And we have police officers from every corner of Rhode Island helping out in Providence right now. And so we are doing everything we can to reassure folks, to provide comfort, particularly as we expect will be even busier a week from now. And that is the best honest answer that I can give to that very difficult question. Please.
This question is for the Colonel. I know you've been interviewing survivors, specifically survivors that were in that classroom where the shooting took place. Have any of those survivors described the person of interest as the shooter, or have they given a physical description of the shooter that is similar to the person of interest that we've been shown?
That's correct. Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
They have.
Yes.
Can you tell us how many actionable tips
No.
you've received at this point?
Happy to see Steve Clampkin.
Thanks very much, man. And a two-part question, both for Colonel Perez and Mr. Doxson, FBI. As you've expanded the area that you've appealed to people who may have cameras within about an 80-block area, is it fair to say that the calls of people with cameras have tailed off, that you've gotten about all you can get?
Oh, we're still getting info. We're still getting calls, and we're doing a lot of knocking on doors, and it's been extremely helpful. So no, we're not done. We're going to continue to expand, and we get calls, and sometimes just knocking on doors alone is providing us that evidence.
And notwithstanding the fact the FBI issues a bulletin to all of its field offices and so forth, is it fair to say that until and unless you get a picture of this guy stepping into a car, you're not going to, basically starting from square one? Don't really have a sense of who he is, where he's going, and how he's getting there.
I would say, as it relates to the FBI, as well as our partners here, any information that comes in, that has not tailed off at all. And I would say one thing that remains constant is we will always need the public's assistance in anything that we do. No matter what you guys may see on TV, we will always need the public's assistance. I say as it relates to that, any tip that comes in, the information that we get, we're able to aggregate that and push out, not only to make links with other FBI field offices, so in a way in which we can follow that lead all the way to ground. And so the information that is coming in, we are pushing that out throughout our field offices, throughout our partnerships into that community, and then we get it back as well. That's helping us to cross off leads in which are not valid, and then to push on leads that are valid as well.
But without that, I don't know if it's a video or something that shows him stepping into a car and you get a plate or something along those lines, it makes your job that much more difficult.
Yes, and I mean, I think we've mentioned this job is painstakingly difficult, but we've signed up to do it. As the AG mentioned, we have not lost any vigor or investigative rigor as we've gone forth into this. I will say that evidence that you're talking about sounds more like a smoking gun. Oftentimes, within my experience in the FBI, and I'm sure our partners as well, we get seeds. We only get seeds. And then we, through that hard work, as the Colonel mentioned, we end up building that story. We put that puzzle together. That's what we do. That's what we signed up for, and we're committed to that, to this community, to help do that.
In the back there. Yeah.
Thank you.
want to follow up on one of my colleagues over there. You mentioned the old school police work, and my colleague mentioned crossing people off the list, like basically making sure it's not that person, it's not that person. In homicide investigations, isn't it usually someone close to the victim? And if so, have you, and the person also seemed to know Brown somewhat, have you knocked off every single person from Brown? When I say knocked off, I mean they didn't do it, they didn't do it, they didn't do it. From staff to students.
Yes, of course. I mean, investigations, and I don't think that in every homicide, everyone that commits the homicide is close to that person. That's not something that happens. But we have obviously eliminated those strong leads that come up as strong leads. As a tip comes up, we label it as a high priority, medium priority, low priority. And yes, once we vet it through and make sure that we cover everything and we prove that that person has nothing to do with it, absolutely, we clear it out.
Yeah, and if I could I just want to just jump in here to clarify that. So clearly, one of the things the investigators do, or maybe not so clearly, is that when you have a victim, you build back all other relationships. You do that in any case. And so you build a profile of your victims so you know who may have threatened them, what they may have said that might have caused somebody to react a certain way. So yeah, that work is ongoing in conjunction with all the other work we're doing. But from where I sit today, there's been no development of any evidence that suggests that that's what drove this shooter. That could change, but there's nothing that we have recovered or analyzed to date that suggests that it was specific person motivated. Again, could change, but we're 5 days out. That work is being done, and there is nothing that suggests that at this time.
Last question.
This is for law enforcement and potentially Brown, but 5 days have passed. How is it possible that we still don't have a clear idea of who was in the classroom during the shooting?
5 days have passed. It could be 6 days. We were hoping that only 1 day pass. Unfortunately, investigations, as this nature of investigation, as intensive as it is going to take time. And it's going to take a lot of time to be able to interview, seize evidence, examine it, to come up with the right person. But as the general stated, a person is going to get caught. We're going to do our job, and we're not going to stop until we do. And so we're going to continue. It could be later, it could be tomorrow, but we're not stopping until we find them.
But surely there's a log or something of people entering that classroom in particular now.
No, I'd be happy to speak to that. So at this time of year, we have final exams taking place. We also have study sessions taking place. That particular classroom, it was a study session. Had it been a final exam, we'd have a roster, we'd handed it over. We know exactly who was in the room because everybody shows up for a final. The first study session, it's elective.
We're finishing the answer. Ronaldo.
It's elective. It's elective to turn out for a study session. So we don't know exactly what fraction of the overall roster turned out for a voluntary review session.
So there's no physical log, just to clarify?
Law enforcement is working to reconstruct that, but there would not be a formal law.
The camera in that building, they Brown put off because the sanctuary city law that we have, you don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the footage to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, it comes out from your detectives, they're a friend of mine, they're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera off, they can identify that person. You imagine how the family is going to go through? Tell the truth to the media here. Putting cameras off.
We heard from both the Brown Police Chief and the Provost at Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have. The City of Providence's experience is the same, which is that Brown has been entirely cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow. Once again, if you are not on the press list and you would like to be updated, please see Camille. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, at 4.
Okay, so that was the press conference. I want to take some comments from you guys and questions as the investigation continues. Just give me a quick moment here. I need to get a little organized here. Hey, just a reminder, tonight President Trump is addressing the nation at 9 p.m. Eastern We're going to cover it live. I'm going to come on early. We're going to do pre-coverage. Oops, I need to get rid of the clock here. But I'm going to try to get on. I'm going to try to get on at about 7:30 Eastern so we can do pre-coverage. But I'm definitely going to be on before it happens. So I hope you can join us tonight for our live coverage of President Trump's address to the nation. And hold on a second here. I'm going to say press conference on Brown University shooting post coverage. I'm going to take a few comments from you guys and hear what you thought. And so give me a moment here. Let me just update this. And real quick, before I take some comments from you, I just want to say thanks to Senator Funstein, Bless My Vibe Code, Resistor CIO, Dodger Blue to You, Guava Ball, Rick Iser, Leon Herati, Hippie Mimi, Crypto King Patty Simmons, Real Keegan, the one and only Jenny Lassiter. Thanks for your support, and also want to shout out our mods too. Oh, thanks Oxytropus and Kodor1927 on Twitch, and thanks to our moderators who are here with us right now. We have LB Prairie on Idaho Star, Jay Joanid, Matthew Kohai 3 over there on Twitch, Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X, Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley over there on Facebook. Thanks also Helen Anderson and Martha Crawford for subscribing on Facebook. And did I say Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X? Thanks Helen Anderson for the Facebook stars as well. Thanks, Helen. And also our Kathy R. Ba Merritt, thanks for subscribing on Facebook. And thanks also to our YouTube moderators. We have moderating on YouTube right now. Ruth is there. Thanks so much, Ruth, and all of our other moderators on YouTube. All right, so what did you guys think? And Janet B's moderating too. What did you guys think about the press conference? And to remind you, I know it's confusing. I know it is confusing. But just to remind you, what happened today is the Providence Police released a photos, plural, released multiple photos, excuse, and I sneezed, and the Providence Police released multiple photos of a person who's not the person of interest, but of a person who was in the proximity to the person of interest. They don't even know if this person spoke to the person of interest. I think there's a part of one of the videos, supposedly. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. From the press conference, they said that in one of the videos they released, this person is in proximity to the person of interest, but they don't know if this person actually spoke to the person of interest. But they want to talk to this person. So just to be clear, I know it's a bit confusing, but they have released multiple photos today of this person. And you can see right here, same thing. It says, investigators are asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in these photos who was in proximity of the person of interest. So maybe they can find that person and talk to them. One of Douthis says they want to know why that person started running. Maybe somebody, I don't know if maybe somebody messaged me with the time code of the video or something. I'm not sure what video the clip that is. It sounds like some of our viewers have seen it. Let's see here. Hold on a second. I mean, because I've watched the video that come out, but I don't know which clip that is. Roberto asked about possible connection between the shooting of the killing of the MIT professor 2 nights ago. There's been no reporting and no official announcement of any kind of connection yet between the shooting and killing of an MIT professor in Brookline, Massachusetts yet, and this Brown University shooting. If I hear of anything, I'll let you know, but so far, nothing announced about any kind of connection. Oh, hold on. So, viewers, JKW Awesome sent me something. I think JKW Awesome sent me this, who said maybe this is the person. A person running between 200. Thanks, JKW Awesome. Hold on. I'm going to show you this video right here. Let me show you the video. And hang on. I have it right here. I have it right here. So our viewer says this. Our viewer says this is where you see the person running. Hang on. All right, here it is. All right, so is it here? Let's just hit play on this. Where do we see somebody else running? Oh, there's two people. Is that the second person? On the right there? The green circle is the first person, right? But on the right, I saw a second person. Hang on. This keeps playing here. Is it that second person? All right, so again, I'm going to play that again. All right, so watch. So we have the green circle is the person of interest, and then there's that other person. You see the other person walking there? So I guess the idea is that they're looking for the other person. Some of our viewers saying maybe the second person was holding the missing bag. Hey, let's make this even bigger. We're going to make this even bigger. Oh, what do you see right at the end? Right at the end there, is somebody running? Who's running? Is it person number 1 or person number 2? Who's running at the end? Or walking? Well, the person seems like they're walking. 2 people. Watch. Person number 1, person 2. Oh, but is there a time code shift? I don't know. Green, 25, 26, 27. That's person number 1. And then the time jumps, I think, ahead a few seconds, right? No? Then this other person walks by, and then they're walking by, and then they start running. Oh, is it the person running? Or is it the... I don't know. See, the problem is I'm not sure who's who. So again, it's a little confused. I'm just going to play this shot again. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to make it bigger just so we can see that part of the... I don't know if this is going to help. See if I can do this. Okay, let's try it this way. Now, so I guess maybe this is, I got to make myself disappear. I guess this is what they're talking about. All right, there's the person on the top right who look like they have a white bag. And then on the left is the person who's the person of interest. And then if you look up at the top there, you'll see, I guess, the person number 2 walk through that opening there, right? Or is that a different, that might be a third person. That could be a third person. I don't even know if that's a third person. And then the person starts running, but I don't know if the person running is the person number, again, I don't know who's who. I don't know who's who. Yeah, Trippy Dead says it jumps from 28 seconds to 38 seconds. So it's kind of hard, but there's definitely multiple people in that shot. So is that, our viewers or some of our viewers are saying like that's the shot where they're talking about the second person coming up. But again, I don't know exactly what's going on here. I'm going to post a link to the video. Hey, hold on. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to post a link to this video, and I'll post a link, and it'll be queued up to the start of the shot. So you guys can watch it as many times as you want. It's about 2:01. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to share a link in the chat right now, and it's literally a link to the YouTube video queued up to that shot. So I just posted it in the chat, so you can click on that link and you can watch it 20 times if you want. But I wanted to just do that for you. And then I'll just show that one more time. Again, I know it's confusing, but you do appear to see two or more people in this shot. The green is there's clearly two people right there. Hold on, I'll show you. Pause. Right there, you have the person of interest on the left in the green. Now, is the person on the right, the person with the white bag, is that a person? Is that the person in proximity that they're looking for? I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me, but maybe it is. People are saying yes in the chat. And then if you play it forward, that person, all right, so, okay. Hey, so the person of interest, do they run away from the other person? Is that what happens? The person in the green circle, do they see the other person then run away? I don't even know. Look, watch. See, he starts running. Oh. And then, now I don't know if this person right here, this person you see right, hold on, where is it here? Right there. See the person right here? I don't know if that's person number 2 or person number 3 right here. This person. Is that the person who was walking from back here? Or is that another person? I don't even know. And then this person, I don't know. Do we see them running? No, that person's walking. Then he starts running. Then a person starts running. I don't know. All right, what I'm going to do, I got to get off the air soon because there's some things I need to do before we cover the Trump broadcast, the Trump speech, and I want to take some comments from you guys. What I'm going to do again is I am going to post a link in the chat to that shot. I really appreciate JKW Awesome 11 for sending me that. I'm guessing that might, I'm not 100% positive. Somebody in the press conference said some sort of time code, and I think it might have been this time code. And they said, is this the person you're talking about? And they said, yes, but I'm not sure. But I would certainly believe if this is the second person they're looking for. The person in the proximity, the person of interest. But what I'm going to do again is I'm posting a link in the chat to that clip. It's on YouTube, and I just posted it in the chat, so you can look at it and look at it 50 times if you want. So I have posted it. I just posted it in the chat again, so check it out. Let me read a few more comments here. So maybe that's the person they're looking for. It's a very interesting clip. I didn't even notice it when we looked at it before. It's a very interesting clip, and maybe that's this person. Maybe person number 2 is this person. Hold on, you'll see. Investigators are asking for the public's help in identifying and speaking to the individual shown in this photo who was in proximity of the person of interest. Yes, and that person has a white bag. Yes, exactly. As Dink Donk says, this person seems to have a white bag like person number 2 in the other video. But again, this is not the person of interest. No, we already showed the news conference. The news conference is not now. We already showed the news conference about 15 minutes ago. You can rewind and watch the news conference. Okay. Why don't they have a similar photo of the actual shooter? Well, they have other videos and photos of the person of interest, but this person's not wearing a mask, by the way. Okay. 1811 Pilot says this is the analysis the briefing should have gone over. Yeah, I think it would have been helpful. I think it would have been helpful if in the briefing they had specifically said like, hey, we're looking for this person, because you can see in this clip, you can see, well, there's the person of interest, and then there's this person. So, yeah, I do think that would have been helpful. So I appreciate people helping out. Oh, thanks to JKW Amazing 11. There's JKW Amazing in the chat who messaged me the clip location. All right, hold on a second. I want to read a few more comments from you guys. Hang on a moment here. Roberto said none of the survivors in the classroom can shed some light on the suspect. Yes, so it was said in the press conference today that people in the classroom where the shooting happened have said that the person of interest they're looking for, they believe that's the shooter. They say they think the person of interest in the photos that have been released looks like the person who did the shooting. This person here. You know, we've seen a lot of videos and photos of this person, right? Again, it was said in the press conference today that witnesses to the shooting they have talked to have said that, yes, this guy looks like the person who did the shooting. It was one other thing that was interesting is, previously they had said in the press conferences that it was a 9mm weapon, which, from my understanding, 9mm is a very popular ammunition for handguns, for a pistol, although some viewers have said there are 9mm long guns. And today they talked about how there was an interview, which I never saw or read, where the TA in the classroom said that the gun looked like it looked long. But what they're saying is they are not committing one way or the other to it being a long gun yet publicly. The Attorney General seemed to suggest that there wasn't. I mean, you have to. When the Attorney General was speaking to me, he seemed to be suggesting to me that they were leaning towards handgun. But that's just my interpretation of what he said. You can go back and watch it. But they have said previously it was 9mm ammunition. Again, when I looked it up, 9mm, from what I saw, it was a popular handgun ammunition. But some viewers have claimed that you could, in theory, have a 9mm long gun. I don't know. I'm not a gun expert, but they definitely said 9mm in a previous press conference. Let's see here. So I think one of the in the press conference they referred to an interview where the TA supposedly said the gun was so big and so long that the shooter was using. Again, also, I think it was said in the press conference today, it's a stressful situation. Eyewitness testimony in stressful situations like this is not always reliable. And also, I don't know that the TA said it was a long gun. This TA could have said it looked long, but that doesn't mean the TA said it's a rifle. So I don't know the TA's exact words. Let's see here. Let's see here. I hope they find this picture. They get this person soon, though. It is now since this shooting happened Saturday. Today is Wednesday. Let's see here. What did the shooter say? We don't know. Have any kind of reliable sense of that right now. Hold on a second here. Hang on. I'm checking some of the messages people have sent me. Thanks. Also, Black Irish wrote in about that video too, that we were just showing you the video clip, supposedly showing the person of interest and the person in the vicinity of the person of interest who police want to talk to. So thanks to Black Irish for writing in about that as well. Oh, and also, let's see here. Only One Trophy sent me, I'll have to watch this. Only One Trophy sent me a video interview where he said the description is, hold on, give me 1 second here. Let me just watch this for 1 second. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Yes, so thank you. So our viewer Only Trophy sent me a link to an interview with the teaching assistant, I believe it was, who was in the room when it happened, and he said the gun looked so big and long. And I'll post a link to that. And time code is 126, and you can hear that yourself. So thank you to. Thanks so much to Only One Trophy for sending that in. Appreciate all the viewer help today. Only One Trophy sent me that interview. That was an interview that ABC News did, and it's at 126 of the interview. Okay, good. I'm glad I got that clarified. Again, doesn't mean it's a long gun. And they said it was a 9mm earlier in one of the press conferences. Also, just to remind you, there's all kinds of information the police might have that we don't have. Okay. All right, so look, here's what we're going to do. We are going to, all right. What we're going to do is, I'm going to take a few more comments here from you guys on this. And then, reminder, we're going to be covering President Trump address to the nation tonight. I'm going to be coming on early. The latest I would come on is 8, I think, but I'm going to try to get on at 7:30. But I hope you can join us for our coverage tonight of President Trump's address to the nation. Yeah, the Dan Bongino has not quit yet, guys. So people keep writing in about Dan Bongino. So different sources have said that Dan Bongino is going to retire at the start of the year, and I believe President Trump said something about it today. Let's see if I can find it here. President Trump said Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show. I haven't heard that he has formally announced this, though. So, to me, it's like I'll believe it when I see it. It hasn't happened yet. But President Trump said today, he was asked, did Dan Bongino tell you why he's leaving the FBI? And Trump said, Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show. But again, he hasn't left yet. So we'll have to see if that happens. Yeah, he was a major podcaster, I believe it was. I don't know, whatever you call it. Does his own show online. All right. So letting you know about that. And hold on a moment here. ABC News reports that in the death of an MIT professor who was shot and killed in Brookline, Massachusetts at his home, reportedly shot in the entryway to his apartment building, ABC News reports that there are no obvious suspects and no working theory of the case. That's according to ABC News. Investigators have no obvious suspects and no working theory of the case. Maybe we'll talk about that later tonight. All right. Let's see here. Oh, hey, Dan Bongino just posted. He just posted 4 minutes ago. Hey, guys, he did post. Dan Bongino just posted. A couple of viewers just messaged me. The Cats and Me and Tori M. Spears. I hadn't even seen it posted yet. Okay, thanks, viewers. Hey, Dan Bongino is leaving. Okay, so here you go. He just announced it. Dan Bongino, I will be leaving my Deputy Attorney General of Deputy Director of the Deputy Attorney General. No, Deputy Director of the FBI. I'm sorry. Deputy Attorney General is Todd Blanche. Deputy Director of the FBI. Sorry, my brain stopped working. Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, said, I will be leaving my position with the FBI in January. I want to thank President Trump, AG Bondi, and Director Patel for the opportunity to serve with purpose. Most importantly, I want to thank you, my fellow Americans, for the privilege to serve you. God bless America and all those who defend her. President Trump today said that I think he wants to go back to his show. So this was being reported, but again, he says I will be leaving my position with the FBI in January. I'll update the headline, even though we're going to take just a few more minutes here. Oops, sorry, there's a typo. Typo in my headline. Typo in the headline, breaking news. Typo in the headline. Thanks, by the way, to Deadwing. Deadwing, I'm not going to have time right now. That video footage, I think maybe on the video it says where the footage was taken, but I'm not going to have time right now. I have to get off soon so I can get back on for President Trump. But thanks, Deadwing, I appreciate that. I believe those videos are within all of them are within several blocks of the shooting scene. And you can, and I believe the video that we were showing of the people walking is from before the shooting, but you can check the time code on that. It's the one we were showing is, yeah, it's from an hour and 45 minutes before the shooting. That one. I don't know if it says on that video where it's taken, but it's an hour and 45 minutes before the shooting. But I believe it was all in the general area, just within a few blocks. Hey, thanks JWK Amazing and Mike Fleck, and also Bluno Semedelmauer and Bunsen Rockstone, and Senator Funstein. Senator Funstein thinks the reporters have been very confrontational during the press conferences. I mean, there's been some confrontational questions. I don't know that there's been some that have not been. There's that one reporter, I think his name is Ronaldo, and it seems like, I don't know who he is, but it seems like there's been several cases where there's been some spiciness in his questioning in the press conferences for the Brown shooting. Ronaldo, I think. Anyways, so again, Dan Bongino announced that he is stepping down from his position in the FBI Deputy Director in January, and President Trump saying I think he wants to go do his show. Or I think he wants to go back to his show. The Washington Post reports that the departure after less than a year would mark the end of a tumultuous tenure for Bongino, who left a lucrative job as a podcaster to serve as second in command of the FBI when Trump became president. Multiple people familiar with his thinking, says the Washington Post, said he has been unhappy at the FBI and has threatened to leave multiple times. Now, this is what the Washington Post says. I'll let you think what you want. The Washington Post says Bongino, a Trump loyalist who had previously worked at the Secret Service, built his reputation within right-wing circles during the Biden administration. He did so in part by spreading conspiracy theories about the FBI and its workforce and criticizing law enforcement as politicized. After Bongino began his job at the FBI and could not prove the baseless theories he spread on his podcast, many of his right-wing supporters turned on him. That's not me saying that. That's the Washington Post report. When the Justice Department declared during the summer that there was no rumored Epstein client list tied to Epstein and that the law enforcement agency would not be releasing any more investigatory files, many people directed their ire at Bongino and Patel and accused the Trump administration of lying to the American people. By the way, the Epstein files release date is coming up, but we'll have to see what happens on that. One of our viewers thinks a book is coming soon. Schofield thinks a book is coming soon. What is the deadline date for the files? Is it Friday? It's Friday, right? Isn't the deadline Friday for the Epstein files in 2 days? So maybe we'll do coverage of that. Okay, let me take a few more comments here. So again, Dan Bongino says he is leaving in January as Deputy Director of FBI. S. Dated says he left right before Epstein files come out. Well, he's not leaving yet. He's leaving in January. Jewish Pickles thinks Kash Patel needs to step down. One of our viewers says getting a job on Fox. Dancing in the Sand says sounds like he'd rather complain on air. Let's see here. Jonas Blue thinks he saw too much. Allie B from Tennessee says, knew this was coming. By the way, our viewer Sharkingly thinks the video clip of the two people was at the corner of Cook Street and George Street. Thanks, Sharkingly. I'm not going to have time to check that right now, but maybe we can check it later. Well, or on our next coverage of this. But thanks for saying that. Or you can check it by going to Google Maps, maybe, and looking it up. Let's see here. Violante says, way easier to crank out podcasts. Ken Dexter says, Kash Patel will be next. Dean R says, why no Kash in this case? I think Dean's asking about the Brown case. Several of our viewers have been asking, why isn't Kash Patel appearing at any of the Brown University investigation press conferences? Some of our viewers think he should be. Curtis Beef, our viewer, says, doing actual work is hard, podcasting conspiracies easy? Echo's Life thinks he got fired. Okay, so anyways, Bongino leaving in January. We'll see what he has to say after he leaves. Give me one moment here. I'm just looking up one thing here. Give me one moment here. All right, guys, I got to do this. I got to come. We're going to wrap up this stream because I need to. I need to do a couple things before coming on later. We're going to talk about more tonight. I'll be back on covering President Trump's. President Trump is addressing the nation at 9, but I'm going to come on before then so we can talk about various things, Dan Bongino and Venezuela and whatever else. So let me get off the air now because I'm coming back. But I really appreciate you joining this stream. Come back and join us tonight for our coverage, just in a couple hours. And but let me go do that. So I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate all of your comments and questions and your helpful. A lot of people are sending me helpful tips and updates and everything. So we'll have more coverage about the Brown shooting, and hopefully they can get this person of interest into custody soon. But again, really appreciate you being here. Subscribe, follow the channel, Agenda Free TV. We cover all kinds of live breaking news coverage, all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda. Subscribe and follow. Also, I will post updates when I'm not on the air on my X account, which is @Lookner. You can follow me over there @Lookner on X. I would suggest turn on notifications for the channel. You never know when breaking news is going to happen, and we're going to go live here. So if you want to get notified whenever we go live, so you don't miss breaking news coverage, sign up for our free Discord notifications. Our free notifications, they're free. You sign up once, you get a notification every time. We do it through Discord. The link to the notifications, our mods will post the link in the chat, and also you can find the link in the description of this video on Facebook and YouTube. So sign up for those. Also, if you're on X, I would follow us on X @Agenda Free TV. I always post there before we're going on the air to give you a heads up and post updates about the channel there. Also, huge thanks to our moderators. Our moderators are awesome. They're always with us. They are the reason that we can even have chat rooms. Thanks so much for being there, keeping things civil and respectful in the chat. Ruth over there, Janet B on YouTube, and all of our other YouTube moderators. Huge thanks for being there. Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley over there on Facebook. Thanks for being there as well. Paul Anderson, thank you. Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X. DeBears, LB Prairie Dawn, Idaho Star, Jay Joanna, and Matthew Kohai 3, and Sarah on Twitch. Thank you so much. By the way, if you missed the Brown University press conference, just rewind. You can watch it on this stream. What else was I going to say? Oh, everybody who donated, thank you so much. Did I get everybody? CC on Twitch, thanks for your support. Frukar Toffine on Twitch, thank you. Oxytropus on Twitch, thank you. And everybody else who donated, that's really nice of you. You are the reason. Your support is how this channel can be on the air, so thanks so much for your support. If you ever want to donate, go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But thank you. Let's see, what did I want to mention? We do have a chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not live. The Discord chat, it's free. Check it out. A bunch of our viewers like doing the Discord chat. It's the same link as the link to the free notifications, so check out the chat. Big thanks to our Discord moderators for all you do. Thank you, Discord moderators. And also, if you watch on YouTube, I would suggest turning on the YouTube notifications, another good way to find out when we're live. To turn on the YouTube notifications, what you need to do is you need to subscribe to the channel, and then you need to click the notifications bell and choose all notifications. If you're already subscribed, make sure you've clicked that bell and you've chosen all notifications. I want to mention... thanks so much to our Facebook subscribers for supporting the channel, like Margaret Riley, Kay Lowry Body, Helen Anderson, and Martha Crawford, Shannon Davis Hughes, Jennifer Ellers, Chuck Mosca, Robert Rial II, Erin Van Ness, Susan Priest-Buchner, Julie Cantrell Smith. Thank you for all of our subscribers and our other subscribers on Facebook. Really appreciate you subscribing and supporting the channel. And also our Twitch subscribers like CC and D. George and Wall Street and Shaggy and Amelian and Artful Nothing and Sentient Cannabis, Justin D. Winters, thanks for subscribing over there. Tenfold, CC, Tojek, let's see, Ma Florida, Douthis, Kodor, ZZYGYY, Big Boss Now, and all of our other subscribers, Kodor, and all of our other subscribers on Twitch, and our YouTube members, big thanks. Let's see here. Thanks to our YouTube members, people like Crypto King, Cac, Evelyn in Maine, Dean R, Jewish Pickles, J.K. Sinar, Eric Johnson, let's see, Patricia Grace, Sydney, Thomas Darwin, Doug Cahill, the one and only Ken Lance, Allie B from Tennessee, Patricia Grace, Anna, J.K. Sinar, and everybody else for watching. Silo, Satan, thank you. And 5 Coot 2020, our viewer, Tiz Key, thanks for watching. Super Fox, and people like Kelly Reed Lacefield, Ann Hajnacki, and Oliver, Paula Thompson, and Melissa Terry, and all of our other viewers. All right, so I'm wrapping this up. I'm coming back in a little bit. We will have live coverage of President Trump speaking tonight. He's speaking at 9, addressing the nation. I will be coming on definitely before then to do pre-coverage. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a little bit tonight right here on Agenda Free TV.